Hello, everyone. I just want to go over a couple things today in today's town hall. Number one thing that I wanted to talk about was election fraud. Another thing I wanted to talk about was infrastructure in regards to farm, transportation for regular civilians, and things like that for the public. Um, as well as, anything else that might come up, if anyone has anything to throw in, let's see what's going on. Number one, so when we're talking about election fraud, I think that the best way to get out of like a lot of the experts, they'll say that 13% of voting fraud is pretty much normal for every election. However, I don't see why we can't just get 0% voting fraud, right? So I've talked to a couple engineers, and I've got a couple engineers that are ready to work on this actually. And they said that the best way that we could actually make a non-hackable ballot booth is that we need to go ahead and make it analog. When we make it analog, we can go ahead, we can set up the program. It'll count all the votes. We can still spit out our paper ballot, and there's literally no reason for it to connect to the internet, no way for it to connect to the internet, and best of all, it just works. And that's exactly what we need when it comes to voting booths. We don't need something that's updating the same night that we're all voting. You know what I mean? So in that way, what we can do is we can have these votes casted, and then we can have like a public, basically like a public viewing where we've got like a camera up top, and it's looking down, and we're gonna have like a vote counter, right? Who's gonna sit there underneath the camera, and they'll count all the votes, and any person can watch this online. It'll be free to watch, and if at any time there's a discrepancy that you see this person mark down a vote that was obviously not on the ballot, then you can go ahead, you can call in, they will be removed, and they'll be investigated. And regardless of the outcome, they'll be removed from the position. So that way we can go ahead and we can guarantee free and fair elections. Another way that we can do that is we can ban like PACs and political lobbies from lobbying in Ohio. Yeah, okay, we can't directly control what's going on in the federal government, but we can control what's going on in our state government. And the way that I can actually guarantee that is, as governor, I'm going to be head of the Ohio Election Committee. So that's something that I can set people towards. And I already have engineers that are ready to work on it. So it's just a matter of getting a little bit of funding to get this stuff put together and done. Now, another thing I want to talk about is the train situation. I know a lot of people have been talking about the train situation online, in regards to public transportation. I think it's extremely important as well when it comes to infrastructure in Ohio and the United States as well. So one of the main ways that we're going to get all this food to all these people before it spoils and keep the prices down is we're going to try to get these trains going again. At least the train tracks, right? Hold on here. While I do this, I was already looking, and as a matter of fact, we're really not going to have to get rid of too much or like take too much. So right here is Marion, Ohio, which, as you all know, is right outside Columbus, and we already have train tracks going between all that. One of the classic railroads that have been torn out is the passenger line and agriculture line that ran between Marion, Kenton, and then all the way to Lima, Indiana, Toledo, and all that. So if you look at this, I thought I'd take you on a little bit of an adventure here. This is the rail yard in Marion. Here is the old rail line that a lot of passenger cars and agriculture used to use. There actually used to be two lines here. and you can see that they've connected them, but there used to be two parallel lines here so that they could have passengers and agricultural trains going at the same time. Now if you look here and you follow this, it just dead ends. It's got a train at the end and just dead ends. But if you follow it, it literally just keeps going. Anyway, sorry about that. I just want to make sure that the live stream is actually working. Anyway, sorry about that. I just want to make sure that the live stream is actually working. So, right here's the line, which obviously it probably had a couple more lines that were running this way where they all connected. But if you follow this, it's actually kind of crazy. So instead of keeping the line going, they turn this all into a, like, obviously nothing's going on here, but they turn this into a path, literally like a walking path with what I assume a reservoir, fountain lake. You keep following it, keep following it, keep following it, keep following it, keep following it. Literally nothing, but it's kind of crazy. It creates this huge green line all the way across Ohio. Huge path. You just keep following it. Just keep following it. Here's where it ends. But still, literally nothing. People literally use this stuff as just like a bike path, four-wheeler path, stuff like that. Literally no one's doing anything with it. Literally nothing. Looks like a probably like a concrete dump or something over here. But comes right up next to a mill. That's exactly what we're talking about right here. So this is what we're needing in order to get like the fresh vegetables, fresh fruits, things like that, literally to the townspeople of Ohio. I'm talking like right here. We can literally bring a train right here, bring it right to them. We can bring it right down. I mean, see all these farms right here? They can literally take it right down the line and take it to Marion. You know what I mean? So we can really feed all these people with basically no, I mean, it takes no effort. All this stuff is all already there. It's not going to take any effort to just put it all back in and make it work. Of course, now I just lost my place. Trail. Okay, we're back to where we were. Okay. Ooh, just dropped some screws on the ground. But you get my point here. That brings this entire town back to life right there. Now you keep following it, nothing. No one's put anything in. I don't know if this is owned by the government or what, or if this is, I think it's owned by private property now, but literally just nothing. There's not really anything in the way. There's this one cabin. I don't even know if it's a cabin. I'm pretty sure it's a barn of some sort. You just keep following it. Just keep following it. Literally comes right up next to the Scioto River. Crosses the Scioto River right here. It used to be a bridge. You can literally see the evidence. I mean, it's obvious. See? Follow this. This is the most open spot right here. Someone took the time, cleared the rocks, cleared the soil, and they're farming it. You keep going. Oh, and then right here is where the line restarts. And look at the disrepair it's in. This is what we've been doing to take care of our infrastructure. And obviously they just left it there to drop off for whatever facility this is. The McCullough Industries Incorporated. Whatever that is. But, yep. That spot right there is pretty much all that's needed. And then what's sad is if you follow it, trying to remember here, where's it coming in? Yep, follows the Ohio River, comes right through here, and it should connect to here, and you can see. So, let's see, where's it come through? Yep, so it should come right through here. Should be an exchange. Wow, you can actually see the track. Okay, so this track used to come right through here. Come right down, possibly through here, possibly right here. Run parallel to this. Or even the same track. No, it probably ran parallel with how this is going. And then if you look at the way that this is laid out right here, here's where the railroad track used to come through. You can almost see it right here. So then if you follow it, it becomes more apparent. But there's literally nothing, just some trees. I mean, I love trees, but if you follow it, boom. What used to be the train track. So it splits off right here. You can kind of see it coming through. And it just comes right through here. Literally, like I said, people just use it as a four-wheeler path. A lot of ex-drunk drivers or something that are afraid to use the road. Comes right through here by a mill, literally right next to a mill. Infrastructure is, I mean, we could just set it up literally in just a matter of, what, a couple of years maybe? Right here, we've got old train stations in McGuffey that have been restored. So, I mean, this entire town right here could be rejuvenated. We could be bringing beautiful food there. Also, I mean, right here, you can see this land right here. This actually is what's referred to as the last known area of the Black Swamp. So this is the best place for growing carrots, for growing onions, you know, anything that needs a lot of moisture. They have these huge pumps and these huge ditches there. I'm talking 30 feet deep, so that they can get the water out because there's just so much water there. And what's unfortunate actually is if you take a gander, sorry for taking this off topic, but if you take a gander, they went and destroyed a lot of this land by putting solar panels here. Like, look at that. That's gorgeous land. And then this is what they do. And this is outdated because all these fields are now covered in solar panels. So, yeah. Like this. This entire field is all solar panels now. And what's crazy is this looks good in the spot that it is because it's been planted, but actually this field right here, it has been so destroyed. You can almost see it in the soil where it's bare. This soil literally gets picked up in the summertime by the winds and will create sandstorms over this town in McGuffey. But anyway, sorry for the offside rant. So we're back to the train stations. Literally stuff that's still here, just ready to be used again. Again, nothing in our way, nothing in our way. It's all still ready to go. There's no train track, but we have machines that literally can lay train tracks as it moves. So, I mean, again, we're following it. I'm trying to see here. Okay, so somewhere over here, I think it actually like went straight across. You can actually see a hill if you go out here. And it follows this to, again, a mill. Literally, everything's still here. Just a couple years ago, they got rid of the railroad crossings, even though the railroad's been going for years. This is one of the oldest streets, I believe, actually, that's still brick. It's gorgeous if you ever go check it out. Main Street, Alger, Ohio. Beautiful. Anyway, so again, we're following it. It's almost humorous. But we're going on a little adventure, you know? Alright, so we're coming into Harrod, Ohio. And we followed the train track, and what would you know? Here is the Harrod Mill. Not much to look at these days, but it is a mill. Can't hardly tell, but it's a mill. Comes right through here. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, so this is where the train track would have been. Still have there's actually a train right here and the old train station. I don't know where the train would have been. It had to have been real close, probably. I guess it probably would have been right here. I'm trying to remember because there is a hill. Let's see here. Looking at the trajectory, we're talking probably right smack dab through the park. But again, you follow it. I assume it probably came down one side or the other, though it's kind of looking like it came in the middle. Hopefully they didn't dig a pond right. Maybe it came right here. I know a lot of these, for a lot of the trains, they would actually have these, like, ponds so that they could just refill the boilers and stuff. Yeah. So we're still following it. We got a couple houses. We're looking at, like, 2, 3 houses. We got another couple ponds. That pond is ridiculously long. What in the world? Although I'm pretty sure the path is running through here, so that has nothing to do with it. And it literally just brings us right back. Yeah, it's running the back of their properties, Up Clum Road, crosses Clum Road. You can literally see it. It's obvious as heck. Goes back here. Comes back here. It's all still there. I mean, if you go to any of these places in Ohio, I mean, it's so obvious. And then it literally used to cross 117 apparently, which I was actually born in Lima, near this area right here. So that's crazy to me that I didn't know that. Came back here. Up by Allen County Fabrication. Probably why that business isn't doing absolutely amazing anymore. It probably helped the business a lot. Came right up through here by what appears to be a marsh. And then you can see this old bridge, which has the remains of some tracks. You can literally see there used to be two tracks. Two tracks coming through here. I bet they linked right up here. Absolutely depressing. Absolutely depressing. But only depressing if that's it, you know? And that's not it. Because we can actually build this stuff back up. There's absolutely no reason why we can't do this. And of course, all the rail line, once you get to Lima, is fine. But none of the towns are connected anymore. And it makes it so much more expensive to get things from places like this little farm right here, Iverson Farm, to the people. You know? To these people. It's difficult. That's a lot of people to feed. I believe right there alone is 40,000 people. We gotta make it to where these people can actually live their lives. And a lot of these people aren't living their lives in good ways. I mean, all you have to do is look at the south end of town to see what's going on. And I'm not talking about, like, these people are, you know, that these people are bad people. What I'm talking about is what society's done to these people. Look at this. Oh, it looks like a neighborhood, right? Okay, well, let's zoom in. There's hardly any houses left. See what I'm talking about? Especially over here, look at this. They've taken everything. This is a park. I went by it. It's in one of my other videos. And, I mean, they haven't taken care of it in years. You can look down here. They've been working on that house to build it for years. You can just see all these people's properties that have been taken from them. And then instead of, you know, trying to get new people in there or anything like that, they just go ahead and tear it down. And they don't help these people. They don't even try to help these people. Instead, that doesn't even exist anymore. I bet that dude got fined out of existence. And instead, they want you to live in I mean, they put a bunch more of these buildings over here now. This is like a freaking internment camp, damn near. I mean, they can leave, but they'll never get out. These people are going to be living here unless we change something. These people are going to be living in places like this forever. And you can see that in my other video. They're just plain rectangles to have people living in. I think there's some over here now, some over here now. They put a couple more over here. It's just sad. And then, of course, right here, this looks like we're looking at something halfway decent, right? Because there's a Philippian Missionary Baptist Church and a Quest Academy. Okay, well, there was a Quest Academy. Apparently, it's permanently closed. But this used to be an entire block. There used to be a road right here and a road right here. Multiple roads coming through this, and there's houses everywhere. Same with this. Same with this. Look at this. This. They literally just ended roads and got rid of them. They're pricing these people out of existence. When at the same time there's just concrete parking lots. Twice the size. Old Lyman Locomotive Works site. And I mean, this is a place that would be amazing to get it actually working again. It's just that now it just stands there and does nothing. There's just a bunch of concrete. Literally nothing. And then over here, a bunch of apartments. You think those people want to live there? Which, I mean, we need apartments, but it's how you use it, you know? Now, one thing that I did want to talk about is, I think we talked about voting. I think we talked about trains. Now, and, well, infrastructure. Obviously, we're going to be needing like a farmer's market in every town, something central. We're going to need mills and infrastructure at the mills to help those out. But also something else I wanted to talk about was healthcare. You know, so like in Lima, we might have, I think there's 4 or 5 different like places other than a hospital that you can go to for just like regular care. But like places like Herod, for instance, we don't have anything. There's 2 places to take your animal, but there's not any places to take people. There used to be somewhere in Columbus Grove, but that's long gone. Alger, nothing. McGuffey, nothing. It looks like they got a head start there now. There's a school, but there's no doctor, nowhere to get any medical care if you need it. Cessna, there might be. I don't know anything about Cessna. Cessna doesn't look like it has. Not trying to laugh. Yeah, I highly doubt Cessna has anything. So you get my point here. If I know Ada, where'd it go? Dola Dunkirk. Where is Ada? Ada, it's got a small clinic. It's got a nursing home. But I'm talking about like an actual place that everyone can go to so that we can get these times down when it comes to hospitals. It doesn't matter where you're at in Ohio. You're looking at a 2 to 3 hour wait anywhere in Ohio on a normal day if you're talking about the hospital. But it's because our doctor's offices are extremely, I don't want to say underfunded, but they don't have what they need to get the job done. So we're talking about every single one of these places need to be like a quality urgent care. We're talking like They need to be having X-rays there, like X-ray machines. They need to be having MRI machines. They need to be having all these different things so that when if you actually need to go to the hospital, then there's the capability that the hospital can actually take care of you and not deny you or just leave you sitting there. I mean, I even had a roommate one time that got taken to the hospital by an ambulance from work, and they put her in a wheelchair and let her sit and they let her sit in the waiting room for over 40 minutes after she'd been brought there from passing out and hitting her head on the ground by an ambulance. So I think if we can have these urgent cares to be able to take care of a lot of smaller things, not only is it going to make it easier for the hospitals to do their jobs, but with all these different, doctor's offices, urgent cares, health cares, and things like that, that I'd like to open up and help start in all of Ohio here. I think that's really going to help drop the costs for the average person in Ohio, because not everyone, I mean, Dola, Dunkirk, Marion, Worcester, these healthcare industries, they have like a stranglehold over our people because you don't really have much of a choice. And when you do have a choice, a lot of these people, I mean, yeah, okay, a doctor does a great job, but when they can't actually check anything, all they can do is the basics of first aid. Then what's the point in paying them hundreds of dollars? You know what I mean? And it really doesn't cost that much to get the machinery that's needed to do just basic health care for all of our people. So I don't see why we can't just do something like that. I think it's very feasible when you're looking at the state budget, which we can look at here in a moment. Let me pull it up here. Let's see here. Ohio 2025 budget. See if we can find this bad boy. You're okay. Okay. Check the proxy in firewall. Air connection reset. Okay. So something is going on here. Budgets Ohio. For sure I've seen it. Oh, here we go. Launch budgets. State budgets. Operating budget. at the fiscal years 2026-2027 budget. This was easier to find last time. Let's see, budget. Is this actually what I'm looking for here? May not. There we go. Getting close here. Appropriation spreadsheet. This is what I've been looking for the whole time here. Only have like 50 different things open, but I learned a lot of random corruption. That's great. So yeah, I mean, you can just literally see all the stuff that we're spending money on that we just absolutely don't need. I mean, our election commission right here, we got $414,998. I mean, that's something we could keep going for quite a while. It kind of looks like they're planning on shorting. They got $0 appropriation for the election commission. That's kind of weird. They're definitely going to need more, especially if we're going to be doing the things that we're talking about. I know that there's a whole bunch of stuff in here that I've looked at before that we need to talk about. I mean, obviously right here we got, what, $1 billion being spent on Ohio Department of Job and Family Services. Let's see here. See if we can find DARE or so much to look through, unfortunately. There's just a bunch of stuff in here. Casino Control Commission. I mean, why are we giving them $21 million? Our Department of Commerce is not doing very well, but for some reason we're paying them $300,000 or $300 million a year. Kind of weird. Department of Developmental Disabilities. That's something that needs the funding. Where's all this stuff? And if you look, it's kind of crazy, but a lot of this stuff will be like significantly different. How do I say it? Like, the words won't be significantly different, but it's a completely different agency, and they're getting, identical or more money than each other. I don't know why the Office of the Governor is getting $4 million. I don't know how many people work for the governor, but that's something that I'm definitely interested in checking out. I don't see why it would cost so much. Department of Health is getting almost $1 billion. That's embarrassing. We're giving $1 billions of dollars for the Ohio Department of Higher Education, which I don't know why we can't just put that money towards, cheaper colleges. $2,000-$3,000 a year should not be a problem for most people. Or free, I mean, at that price, what? We're spending $3 billion a year. At that point, it should just be free. Legislative Service Commission. I'm trying to find. I know that we're funding a whole bunch of stuff like DARE. Last time I was looking at this, the DARE program, we were paying them millions of dollars. I think it's like $30-something million or something like that. That's absolutely ridiculous. And then we got horse racing and stuff that we're putting money into. Armories. Kind of funny that they don't have the State Defense Force on here, even though they state active duty. Is that the State Defense Force active duty? Just making sure I didn't miss anything. It's a little bit not prepared when it comes to this one. There's so much we put in. Why in 2025 we're putting $4 million into local fairs? Very odd. Probably do a little bit more for soil and water district support. What's crazy is the budget is so big that every time I look at it, it's I see something new. Now we're getting closer to like DARE and things like that that are just a huge waste of time. DARE programs. $2.3 million a year. that could be going to actually helping people instead of teaching kids how to do drugs. Let's see. Spending $7-8 million a year training peace officers for casinos. Drug abuse response team grants, $180,000. Or no, what? $1.8 million. Narcotics task forces. Yeah, no. I mean, we need people to be helping with narcotics, but we need to help people. What I mean by that is we need to help them to where they don't feel like they need to be doing narcotics. We need to be taking narcotics and drugs seriously, but we need to stop this war on our own people. That's one of the main problems with this. Stop bullying license plate. We're paying for that. $2,500 a year. Okay. Tobacco settlement oversight administration and enforcement. 2.5 million. Workers' compensation section. 9 million. Charitable law distributions. 750,000, whatever that means. And trust settlements, holding account. We're paying $326,500,000, or we're estimated for 2026. So 326,000 or million, $15,750. 2025 hospital services. Yeah, it's kind of like Governor's Emergency Education Relief, Mental Health Coordination for 1 year was $14 grand. 170 million going to our opioid response. I hope that's actually going to helping people on opioids. Ohio ambulance transportation. I don't really know why we're paying for that, because every individual gets billed like $3 grand, even if you're just going down the same street. I think we could make a whole nother video on this sometime. I think we should. Alrighty. I think that should be it for tonight. Thank you for coming to tonight's Town Hall. Hopefully we can make Ohio a better